When I got diagnosed with Parkinson's, I thought, well, that's it.
Virgin Galactic is breaking down barriers for space travel. The engineering side, it's amazing to see all of its diversity, imagination.
This is for all of us.
Space for all opportunity.
Comfort zone. To believe in ourselves. At Spaceport America, set in the beautiful state of New Mexico, here in the U.S. Days like today don't come around.
Earlier this morning observed a perfect takeoff from our runway here at Spaceport America with Eve, the mothership, piloted by astronauts Nicola Pacelli and Mike Masucci. Mothership Eve has completed the climb to launch altitude, which for today's flight is 44,500 feet. But in addition to that launch altitude, there's also a designated launch point within the airspace. Everything is looking fantastic. As I said, we're already at altitude. We're at 46,000 feet right now, and just a beautiful view you get from up there. I imagine our crew are taking it in, and they're preparing themselves as we get closer and closer to that big moment.
Amazing. I can feel the Virgin Galactic ticket holders. He's waited 18 years for this. John is joined by Keisha Shahoff and Anastasia Myers, a Caribbean mother-daughter duo who won their seats in a draw that raised funds for nonprofit Space for Humanity. These three remarkable individuals show that the barriers that once existed to becoming an astronaut are being broken down. Now, to date, fewer than 700 people have traveled to space. And not only that, but the rich diversity of humankind is still really truly to be represented. And we're here to change that, beginning with an 800-strong community of future astronauts that come from astonishing 60 different nations across the globe. And some of them will be the first of their nation to experience space. And that is certainly true of today. And I know we have a lot of future astronauts joining us from around the globe here on our live stream. So a huge shout out to all of our future astronauts in that incredible community.
You know, it's really a quarter of my life to think that I'm here.
Now, John Goodwin's community in Stoke, England are watching together. And in New York City, friends are gathered at the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research to watch as well. He's got a huge community supporting him, and he'll only be the second person diagnosed with Parkinson's to fly to space. Next up, we have Keisha Shahoff, astronaut 12. Keisha won 2 seats through a philanthropic fundraising sweepstakes benefiting Space for Humanity, a nonprofit organization. Their mission to send more diverse humans to space and change perspectives resonated with Keisha and encouraged her to enter. Let's take a look at Keisha's journey. Okay, Keisha's reaction to being told she's going to space just embodied an incredible amount of excitement. And to make Keisha's experience even more remarkable, she chose her youngest daughter, Anastasia Myers, astronaut 13, a college philosophy and physics student, to be her companion. Let's get to know Anna. A retired Marine test pilot and former NASA astronaut. Sturcow is a veteran of 4 space shuttle missions and 3 Virgin Galactic Unity missions. He's the first person to launch to space from 3 different states. Piloting Unity today is Kelly Latimer, who has logged more than 6,700 hours in her 32-year flying career. Kelly also operates as our Senior Director of Flight Test. This will be Kelly's first spaceflight, and she'll become one of only a handful of women to pilot a commercial spacecraft. And joining the crew in the cabin is my fellow Unity 22 crewmate, Beth Moses. Beth is our chief astronaut instructor, overseeing all the training and preparation of the Galactic 2 crew. Beth is flying with the crew to continue to evaluate the spaceflight experience for our future astronauts. Now, speaking of our future astronauts, JR, how are we looking?
Well, we are about 4.5 minutes out from release. That's an estimate based on our expected time of arrival at the release point, and that gets closer and closer to being accurate as we get closer and closer to that release point. So at this point, 4.5 minutes out, that's a fairly accurate estimate.
All right, you know, space flight is not just a trip to space. I know we're
flying here. I can't wait for you to hear. 3, 2, 1, release, release, release.
Keisha and Anastasia, good luck on the space trip.
You truly are an inspiration. My heartfelt wishes for a safe and meaningful space flight. Remember that you carry with you the dreams of so many others as you carry us all closer to the stars.
Anastasia, now you are representing the university faculty in space. I'm just sending a message to all the students and the community that our dreams can come true.
Congratulations to my cousin Keisha. I'm so happy you put the energy out there, and Virgin Galactic, you caught it. We knew you were born to fly.
You're going to be inspiring a whole generation of young Antiguan and Barbudans.
Hi, I'm Keisha. I miss you a lot. And I'm happy your dream came true.
Good luck to the entire crew, and especially Anna. We're so happy for you.
We're supporting you, and we're all here for you.
This is just a huge historic moment.
I'll be watching from here in Australia.
Here in the UK. From Antigua.
From Iceland.
From Edinburgh.
Godspeed.
Bring me back a Mars bar.
At this point, the pilots are ensuring that the spaceship is in its launch configuration. You know, after I just said that time estimate's pretty accurate at this point. Well, we went and adjusted it, so we're about 3.5 minutes out right now, and currently conducting our L-4 checks. That's a series of checks that we accomplish at designated points on our flight profile to ensure that the spaceship is go for launch. This is also when Spaceship Unity will isolate its air supply from Eve and prime the rocket motor by opening the backup oxidizer valve. Once these actions are complete, the pilots will seek clearance for release from the MCC, that's shorthand for the Mission Control Center. The MCC team consists of experts across various departments and disciplines within the company, and they're verifying these checks with our crew every step of the way. For me, this is where I really start to feel the anticipation building and get excited. I can only imagine what it'd be like to be on board right now.
This is really the time when the anticipation builds. All you're thinking about is that release point and getting into that boost, and honestly, getting into space. It's gonna just, it's so exciting.
And I just heard the L-4 checks are complete. So as you just mentioned, that release point, right after that, the crew lights the rocket motor, and Unity's trajectory to space starts in that horizontal release position before turning towards space, a maneuver that we refer to as the gamma turn. And then the rest of the rocket motor burn occurs in the vertical. We're now 2 minutes out from release.
The rocket motor boost was one of my favorite parts of the flight. Seeing the Earth drop away and seeing space come into view is just absolutely exciting. And of course, our vehicle gives our customers the best view of Earth with the amount of windows we have.
Yes. So we are go for release on time. That's about 1:40 from now. As you mentioned, that view from Earth, when the rocket motor burn is completed, the pilots will command the ship to feather. That's rotating the tail and the aft section of the wing up to about 60 degrees. And that starts a backflip maneuver for our spaceship. And it orients the vehicle such that all of those windows overhead are providing just a fantastic view for everyone on board to be able to look down at the Earth below. All right, so we're about 1:10 away from release at this point, 1 minute.
And I can see the crowds in Antigua, and they're excited. I can see the crowds here at Spaceport America getting ready to cheer our crew on their ascent to space.
So the last set of checks that will be done, we refer to as the L-30, or 30 seconds to release. And that's when the Spaceship Unity pilots ready and arm the launch pylon. And that allows, once we get to the designated point in our flight profile, for the mothership pilots to engage the release and set Unity free. We're now 30 seconds away from release. The very last preparation that the pilots in spaceship do before release is they push that control stick all the way forward, ensuring that we have a perfect separation. We're 15 seconds. 10. 5, 3, 2, 1, release, release, release. Ignition. Good control. There's Mach 1. The pilots have started trimming for that turn towards space. Trim is now set. There is max Q. That's the point of maximum pressure exerted on the vehicle by the atmosphere. Those on board are experiencing about 3 Gs right now and traveling over 1,000 miles an hour.
That's incredible. I can imagine they're having quite a great time.
We're at Mach 2. We're in the vertical, headed towards space.
This is the part where they're seeing Earth move away and seeing space come into view and seeing that they're going to space, and just, it is an incredible feeling.
So we've got about Mach 2.8, Mach 3 approximately, and rocket motor cutoff.
Amazing. The crowds here are just absolutely going wild. I can't imagine what's happening in Antigua with them cheering them on.
That's
incredible.
Awesome.
Go Keisha, go Anna, go John.
So everybody on board has been cleared to unstrap and enjoy that zero-G experience. The pilots have unlocked the feather. That's the preparation so that they can raise the feather here momentarily. They're engaging the RCS as well. The feather is now starting to move on its way up. Everyone's up out of their seats just
Oh, it's incredible. They're all, I know, it's amazing. They're all going to the window and taking in this just absolutely incredible view of Earth, the planet where all of their experiences are held. Everything they've ever known
That's
is
wonderful.
down below.
The feather is all the way up. We have a predicted apogee of about 289,000 feet.
That is amazing. Our crew looks like they're having an absolutely incredible time, and they are officially astronauts. Welcome to space. Congratulations to John, to Keisha, to Anna on becoming astronauts today, and a special congratulations to our Unity pilot, Kelly, for her first space flight. And welcome back to space, CJ and Beth.
And the vehicle is oriented in that backflip or that upside down maneuver from our perspective, and you can see them just enjoying that view of the Earth below.
Man, it's just incredible. I can see that they just can't take their eyes away, and it's hard for us to describe. We can obviously see they're having just an incredible time in space, taking in the views, but it's an experience. It's the silence, it's the views. It's seeing our brilliant planet against the matte black of space. I can't imagine what they're going through right now, and I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, well, we just achieved our apogee at 290,000 feet. That's 88.5 kilometers.
Amazing. And apogee is actually a very unique part of our experience. It's when our vehicle begins that descent back down to Earth and everything stands still. It's just, and we take a moment in the cabin, silent and looking out as a crew, and it's an experience I can only describe with these words, but one to be felt, really.
Yes. So the pilots have initiated the motion to return the vehicle around, complete that backflip all the way around, and orient us for the re-entry. They've just made the return to seat call. They do that before we get to about 0.1 Gs. The pilots tell the passengers when to return to their seats, and then it's something that our training team has made very natural and intuitive.
Absolutely.
Even though you're in that reduced G environment.
Yeah, absolutely. During the days up leading to training, it's something that all of our crew practice. Our cabin is very purposefully designed to allow for our crew to get back into their seats. And even on re-entry, the amount of G's that you feel, but it's designed that anyone can do it, as we've seen today, and the views are going to be amazing on the way down, too.
So when we talk about space travel, right, with the boost, everybody recognizes that as exciting and thrilling, but the re-entry is actually quite thrilling as well. And we have shock waves that form over the top of the vehicle. Right now, they're experiencing the max G on re-entry of about 3.5. We're supersonic, so if you're outside here at the Spaceport America, you should hear a double sonic boom as spaceship once again breaks the sound barrier on re-entry. We just passed subsonic.
Amazing. And the crowds again are just cheering on our entire crew. They're going to be able to see the vehicle as it comes down to land, and our crew here are also going to be they're going to be able to see Spaceport America. They're going to be able to see see that their family and their friends are there cheering them on as they come back and return to Spaceport America.
So we've passed below 60,000 feet. Once we get to about 53 to 55,000 feet, we'll command the feather down. That'll result in the nose of the spaceship dropping. And then once the feather is down and locked, which is now moving, the crew will pull back on the stick and make a gentle return to level flight.
I remember during the re-entry, I just could not stop looking out the window. The landscape of New Mexico is just very indicative of this planet. It's beautiful, and it's really just amplifies going to space, looking down on just the beautiful planet you've just left.
And the feather is now down and locked. So the pilots are starting that gentle pull back to straight and level flight. Spaceship is now a glider, so it's all about balancing that potential and kinetic energy. If they want to go faster, they push the nose down, and if they want to go slower, they pull back and bring the nose up.
It's absolutely incredible. G2 is a flight for the history books. The crew on board...
And they haven't even seen the Earth from space yet.
Yeah, I mean, they represent such an incredible community. Of course, Antigua, Barbuda, Caribbean, mothers, daughters, college, university students, women. It's the boundaries they're breaking is just absolutely mind-blowing, and they're just the first. There's going to be many more. So I know you're eager to get back and cheer them on as they come into land, but anything you want to say just to close out and, just tell us about your excitement for Keisha and Anna landing and being there to cheer them on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess all I'll say is I've had the pleasure of spending some time with Keisha. After we surprised her, she and her husband gave me a tour of the island for a day afterwards, and for her, this is like the biggest dream of her life. And she gets to bring her daughter on that too. And so I think that's what I will leave everyone with, is just imagining what it would be like for someone who's dreamed of this forever to get to go and have this experience and be cheered on by her entire community.
It's absolutely incredible. I know you're going to be right there when they get back to give them the biggest hug.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait.
Amazing. So, speaking of cheer, let's check back in Antigua with Chewie. As they come in for landing. Now, let's take it over. JR, can you give us an update on their progress back to Earth?
Yeah, I sure can. We're at this point just under 12,000 feet. Kelly was at the controls there for most of the glide. CJ has just resumed control of the flying the spaceship. So the approach checks are in work. They've planned to manage their energy management as you do with a glider, and now hitting those waypoints as they come in to runway 34 here at Spaceport America. So that's south to north on the runway. For those non-pilots tuning in, those numbers represent the first two numbers on the magnetic heading of your compass. So 34 is 340 degrees. So we're doing a turn to final right now, and that's a left turn so that CJ, the pilot, the commander in the ship, has a view of the runway. The landing gear is now down and locked. And we're about 7,500 feet.
Amazing. Again, I've said this before many times, but the crew have this incredible view, not only of the New Mexican landscape, but of our spaceport facility, which is this incredible facility where they spent the last few days bonding with their crew and training with their crew. So, of course, it holds a special part in their hearts, and they get to see that view on their way down.
So we're 1,000 feet above the runway. The runway here is about 4,500 feet or 500 feet. Pre-flare, that's pulling the nose up and taking advantage of the ground effect. It's extra lift you get when you're close to the ground. We've crossed the threshold. That's the beginning of the runway. Beautiful. And touchdown of the main gear. Now CJ's going to hold the nose gear up for a little bit. That helps bleed off the energy that the spaceship has, using the air drag associated with that. Now I started to lower the nose. And the nose gear is now down. So at a designated airspeed, the option to apply the brakes or not. They can let the vehicle roll to a stop. We have plenty enough runway here. They are applying the brakes today, so And full stop.
Oh my gosh, amazing. That is absolutely incredible. What a beautiful landing. Congratulations to everyone on board. We saw beautiful flying from our Eve crew and brilliant work by our chase pilot, all of whom are still in the air right now. Thank you to everyone.